Welcome back to the Brain Immune Gut Masterclass. This is Dr. Peter Kahn, and on this session, this mastery class, we're going to be talking about immunity and autoimmunity and immune balance, really. So far, what we covered on the roadmap is we covered the foundation floor, which is fuel delivery. We talked about blood sugar. We talked about oxygen, blood sugar, and digestion. Next, we moved into the immune category. We started that off with leaky gut. Remember, leaky gut is not a gut problem. It is an immune system problem that's happening in the gut. And then we also talked about, we have various speakers talk about infections, candida, viruses, bacteria. So those are great sessions. So to help you tie this all together, we're going to talk about immune system balance. Now, again, the big word here is balance, right? We don't want an overactive immune system. That will be allergies and autoimmunity. But we don't want immune compromise either, because then you get infections easy. So the word here is really resiliency. You want to be resilient. You want to be adaptable. An immune system is adaptable. But sometimes things get out of balance. It gets polarized to one side or the other. So it's important to understand this concept. And let's get into it. So let's talk about the two different branches of the immune system. So we have a T helper 2 system, and we have a T helper 1. Sometimes they're called TH2 and TH1. So T helper 2 and T helper 1. Now T helper 2 system consists of B cells, and they make antibodies. An antibody is how your immune system remember the bad guy. This is how your immune system develop immunity against something. However, this is also how your immune system attack a foreign invader or remember the foreign invader. And this could be even a food. So when you're doing food sensitivity testing, you're testing antibody to specific foods. When you're measuring if you got COVID, you're doing COVID antibody tests, right? To see if your immune system has been exposed to COVID. If you're measuring autoimmune disease, you're measuring if you have TPO antibody against your own thyroid gland. If you have elevated TPO antibody, that means your immune system is attacking your thyroid gland at a much higher level, indicating autoimmune disease. So T helper 2 system produce B cells. The T helper 1 system is your innate immunity, right? So they make, this includes your natural killer cells. Okay. This includes things like your cytotoxic T cells. So these are immune cells that go ahead and kill the actual bad guy. So the T helper 1 system could be seen as the Navy SEALs or the snipers that actually pull the trigger to kill the bad guy, while the T helper 2 system is kind of like your intelligence officer. It's kind of like the CIA. You remember who the bad guys are and put a tag on them so we can remember who they are next time. So your immune system has these two branches, and it's in constant balance, okay? Meaning one side will go higher. The first few days of an infection, the T helper system will increase, be much more active because you're trying to kill the bad guy. And then after initial 3 to 5 days, then the T helper 2 system kicks in and started making a lot of antibody. So then your immune system can kind of remember the bad guy, so next time it doesn't have to work so hard. So that's how these immune cells are working like a teeter-totter. Just like everything in the body is yin and the yang, it's gas pedal and brake pedal. You have the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, and then the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve. Everything has balances in the body. Okay, so in a normal resilient nervous system, one side will go after infection and it'll calm back down. And then the other side will go up and produce antibody and it'll calm back down. And everything basically just becomes hunky-dory. Okay, so let me erase that again. Now what happens is in people with chronic condition, let's start with this, leaky gut. When you have leaky gut, what happens is you basically pushes this T helper 2 system into overdrive. Okay, it causes you to make a lot of antibody. Remember in the leaky gut mastery session, we talked about how when you have leaky gut, you can develop antibody against gluten, you can develop antibody against your own tissue like zonulin and actin and LPS antibodies. These are all things we can measure on lab tests to see if you have leaky gut and also measure if you have gluten sensitivity. So when you have leaky gut, you produce more antibodies because a lot of these dietary protein leaks out of your immune system or leaks out of your gut, and your immune system react to these dietary protein, developing antibodies. So you get this surge in antibody response. These immune cells become much more active. And turns out that because these two act as teeter-totters, it's going to suppress the T helper 1 cells. So when this go up, the other side goes down. It's like yin and the yang, right? So they're antagonistic. So when this go up, the immune cells, your innate immunity goes down. As your innate immunity goes down, then obviously, then you can fight off infections. So then you get infections, can't clear infections. Okay. And what kind of infections are we talking about? Well, this can be viruses, can be, candida, could be bacteria that you can't clear, even parasites. And typically, not only can you not clear infections, you also don't clear them very well in hollow spaces. What are hollow space infections? Well, hollow spaces are cavities within your body. So where do you suppose there are empty spaces in your body? Well, that's your sinus cavity, that's your lung, that's your gut, right? Your gut is a big tube, right? Your stomach is a big hole, and your intestinal tract is a big tube that's open to the outside world. So that's an empty cavity. Your bladder is a cavity, right? It's a space. And even your vaginal canal is a cavity, right? So what you end up is you get these chronic infection in these areas. You get chronic sinusitis. You get chronic upper respiratory infections, right? Chronic strep, chronic lung stuff that you can't clear. You get gut infections, SIBO, candida, parasites that you just can't get rid of. Okay? You get UTIs, right? So that's where you get UTI, urinary tract infections. So you get chronic UTIs, even to the point where you develop interstitial cystitis. Right? You just can't clear this inflammation in your bladder because it's chronically inflamed or infected. Or you get bacterial vaginosis or fungal overgrowth, yeast overgrowth in the vaginal area. So if you struggle with these hollow space infections, it may be that this has started with leaky gut. Or you have some kind of immune imbalance where your Th2 cells are too active and the T helper 1 cells are suppressed. And therefore, now you can't kill an infection, and these infections are allowed to be there. So it's not that you caught these infections, right? We're taught from germ theory that there are bugs in the world, there's germs, and we're susceptible. We catch these infections. I'm going to present another idea to you, that instead of germ theory, that there's this idea of terrain. Your terrain, your internal milieu, is the environment that your body is in. It's determined by toxicity, nutrient status, stress hormones, and pH balance. All these things determine your internal terrain. And if your terrain is toxic and it's not healthy, then your immune system may be more compromised. Therefore, you can't fight off infection. So when you have immune system problems, you can't just say, oh, I caught these bugs. Because it may not be that you caught these bugs. Because the bugs are always there. There's always been viruses, bacteria, candida, and parasite. It's just that your immune system can't fight it off. That's why some people get COVID, they're just fine, asymptomatic. And other people get COVID, they're toast. The difference is what? Not the COVID, the difference is your immune system. So it's always about how can you improve your immune system. And this may be a mechanism that I'm showing you that can contribute to immune balance or immune dysfunction. Now, this is not it, because what happens is when you have infections, then especially if it's in the gut, say it's in one of these hollow spaces like the gut, the infection then can come back and cause more leaky gut. So now you have a vicious cycle, right? You got a cycle here. It goes this way and now comes back this way. Okay. Now, as you develop leaky gut, guess what else you get? Then you become chronically inflamed. Remember, leaky gut is a double whammy of malabsorption and inflammation. So you become inflamed all the time. And remember, this inflammation is not localized, but systemic. It goes everywhere. So now everywhere is inflamed. That's why you get joint pain. That's why you get brain fog. That's why you have immune system challenges. That's why your thyroid gets inflamed and whatnot. Okay? Now, as that happens, what that does is this chronic inflammation, as well as all of these actions right here, all drives this process of another group of T helper cells called T helper 17. And these T helper 17 basically triggers autoimmune, let's write it all out, autoimmune flare-ups. These T helper 17 cells is the actual cell that causes the tissue destruction in autoimmune disease. So in people with rheumatoid arthritis, you see the joint being destroyed, it's the T helper 17 that's doing that. Now, it turns out the T helper 17 doesn't just cause autoimmune flare-up, it's also very useful as well because it helps to clear infection. So when you have infection, guess what happens? Your body's trying to increase T helper 17 because these cells basically destroy things. It can destroy your own tissue if you have autoimmune disease, or if you have an infection, is trying to destroy the infection. So you get this ramped up, ramp up. So if you also have an autoimmune disease and you get an infection, this is how you create an autoimmune flare-up, by having an infection. So this lack of T helper 1 function, where your immune cell becomes weak, and the fact that these T helper 2 cells, where the antibody production goes up, both contribute to increased T helper 17. So again, just creates more tissue destruction for you, which is very inflammatory. As your body gets inflamed, this also triggers cortisol. Your cortisol level goes up. So what does that mean? Because cortisol is a hormone that helps you with inflammation. So as cortisol go up, it causes increased insulin. And when you get increased insulin, you get increased insulin resistance. Remember back from our mastery session number 3, where we talked about blood sugar. So this is why you can be inflamed and have high blood sugar, even if your diet's perfect. And then as we develop these patterns here, these chronic inflammation, remember, is systemic. And that can therefore cross the blood-brain barrier and cause brain inflammation. And now this brain inflammation then can go ahead and decrease and suppress vagus nerve function. So that's one mechanism of decreased vagal output, because when your brain becomes inflamed, you decrease brain function. Brain has several requirements. 1 is that it has to have fuel. 2 is that it has to have activation. Fuel comes in the form of glucose and oxygen. Oxygen comes from using your brain, being physically active. 3rd is that it has to have no inflammation. Inflammation is like a big downer for brain function. So when you start to dampen your brain function due to brain inflammation, you start to get decreased stimulation of that vagus nerve, because vagus nerve stimulation comes from the brain. So you get decreased vagus nerve function, which then can cause decreased motility. And when you get decreased motility, you're more likely to get SIBO, SIFO, gut infections that normally wouldn't be there. Okay? And as you get these SIBO, SIFO, and gut infections, then this can come back and cause more T helper 17 activation. So this gets all jacked up and you get all kinds of tissue destruction. And if you have autoimmune, you get really fillered up. So that's why you never feel like your autoimmune gets better. And not only that, these gut infections can come back and obviously come all the way back and cause more leaky gut. And then we have another cycle. So this is how all of these are related. Now, at the end of it, what's driving all of this, right? Is it the infection? Well, we say, well, leaky gut precedes that because in an immune system weakness with this T helper 2 being activated and this immune system being suppressed, this is what started the infection. So the infection is not even the beginning of it. So what is the beginning of it? Well, maybe we can look at the leaky gut. But really, it can go multiple different directions here. But I just want to show you how, by understanding this, you stop chasing symptoms. You stop chasing the UTI. You stop chasing the candida in your gut. You stop chasing perhaps the chronic sinusitis. Like, what can I stick up my nose to cleanse my nose? Neti pot? No, because maybe you have these chronic hollow space infection because your immune system is compromised. And perhaps your immune system is compromised because it's stuck that way. And it's stuck that way is because you develop plasticity when your immune system constantly doing this, it doesn't know how to do anything else anymore. So you have to reset this pattern. And it all comes down to these lifestyle things. So what are some of the lifestyle things that can cause this problem? Well, at the end, it's going to be things like blood sugar imbalance. That's a major driver of inflammation. Remember in mastery session for the blood sugar, I talk about how blood sugar drives glycation, right? And that's kind of like, caramel, when you caramelize onion by frying it, when you heat up sugar, it caramelizes, you're basically frying your cells. That's what glycation damage from blood sugar is. It causes severe inflammation. So that can drive this whole process. And obviously food sensitivities can drive it. We talked about gluten in previous mastery section under leaky gut. We talked about how gluten can bind to the intestinal tight junction receptor and trigger zonulin release, and that can start causing leaky gut. And when that happens, you start developing antibody against various different foods as well as gluten. And now every time you eat it, you're triggering more inflammation, and this whole cycle that we just drew earlier starts again. You can also have chemical toxicities. Remember, chemicals can bind to various receptor and create antibody response. You can have antibody response to a specific chemical. And we'll talk about that in the next mastery class, the mastery session. And then the other thing that can cause problem is problem with hormones. Specifically, cortisol, insulin. These are two big ones that we can look at. But these things can definitely cause blood sugar problems and inflammation. Not to mention it can have an effect on your brain, especially cortisol is very damaging for the brain. We'll talk about that later in the brain mastery session. And then the oxygen issues. Remember one of the first mastery sessions, the second mastery session, we talk about oxygen and circulation. If you have anemia, if you have circulation problems, that can cause these inflammatory issues. But remember, inflammatory issues can come back and cause circulation problems and anemia. You have what's called anemia of chronic disease, which is really anemia of inflammation. When you're chronically inflamed, you get red blood cell destruction, right? Because when you're inflamed, it's like taking a torch to your household furniture. Everything gets destroyed, not just like a specific tissue or your joints. Your cells gets destroyed, including your red blood cell. If you destroy enough red blood cell, you become anemic, and that's how people can become anemic, just from being inflamed. So these are some causes of that pattern, but certainly we talked about this here. And this is huge, folks. And this is courtesy of Dr. Sam Yannick, who's a professor at UNC. And I learned a lot from him. He actually spent time and talked to me about this. So I'm really appreciative for his mentorship and knowledge. But once I understood this, a lot of things started to make sense. This also gives us a way to enter the immune system and start to make changes. Okay, so now let's talk about what can we do. Okay, so the big idea in this mastery session is that when you have chronic inflammation, and that inflammation could be caused by autoimmune, by the way, that can drive this immune imbalance where your immune system becomes weak and can't clear infection. At the same time you can't clear infection, you also increase Th2 cells, which are antibody production, and these antibody cells tend to trigger allergies and sensitivities and histamine response. So you get these allergic type of response. At the same time, your immune system can fight off infection. Therefore, you get chronic infection in hollow spaces like your sinus, lung, gut, UTIs, and so forth. And not only that, these immune system imbalance trigger more gut inflammation, which triggers chronic inflammation, which triggers brain inflammation. So now you get brain fog, depression, memory loss, all these neurological symptoms, and you have immune system challenges with a chronic infection, and you have gut issue. That's the brain immune gut connection, folks. Big idea. It's huge. Okay? And then that also can lead to autoimmune flare-ups or trigger autoimmunity. And the more autoimmune you have, of course, the more inflamed you become, and that inflammation can trigger more leaky gut and more immune suppression, and then you get the cycle all over again. Not only that, the brain dysfunction can start to suppress vagus nerve function. You get low motility, so you get constipation, and then food sits there in the gut, not moving along. Then you get SIBO, you get fungal overgrowth, you get parasites. So that's the big picture. Okay, now there are always exceptions, because some people, instead of the T helper 1 cells become weak, could have become overactive, while the T helper 2 cells become weak. That certainly can happen. Everyone's different, okay? But most of the time, this is the pattern that's shown in scientific literature that happens most often. There's always exceptions. That's why sometimes you need to, work with a healthcare professional like myself to do the right test. And obviously, we offer a lot more guidance in our neurometabolic integration digital program where we walk you through this, so you're not alone, okay? As far as assessment, again, this varies depending on the probable cause. Okay, so again, you need to identify what's causing the problem. If you have leaky gut, that may be a starting point, right? It's further down in the roadmap process, right? So you want to use the roadmap to help you. Oxygen, blood sugar, digestion, leaky gut. That's why it's lined up that way. And then we have the infections, and we have this inflammation pathway. This is really describing how your body becomes inflamed and how that inflammation drives immune dysfunction, drives autoimmune, and also drives immune weakness. So you have to actually, go through the roadmap and fix what you find. As far as, what can you do? A lot of time what we want to do is we want to start by supporting the T helper 1 cell, so get your immune system up, okay? And then dampen the T helper 2 cells so we reduce allergies and sensitivities. By doing that, it's going to have a wide-ranging impact. Just like when you have low blood pressure and you take some salt, it can have huge impact. Just like if you have low blood sugar and you eat small frequent meals, that can have a huge impact. By addressing this T helper 1 weakness and dampen the T helper 2 response, it can have a wide-ranging impact. Now, it's not enough. You still need to heal the gut and get rid of infections. You have to still do detoxes and so forth, which is going to be later on in the roadmap in the masterclass. But that could be a very significant thing. So things that can help T helper 1 will be things like ginger extract, zinc can be helpful. Things like andrographis and echinacea can be helpful. Things on the T helper 2 side to dampen the allergy response. Things like your perilla extract can be very helpful. Things like your quercetin is a bioflavonoid that can be very helpful. And acetylcysteine and astragalus, which is an herb, can also help to dampen the T helper 2 side. So those are just some examples. And then we can layer in things like glutathione, we can layer in things like turmeric, resveratrol, but there's certainly a sequence that you need to kind of go through to reset this. If you just jump in and throw everything in the kitchen sink at it, you're not going to have much success. In fact, it's going to lead to more frustration. So, follow what we're describing here to you. The neurometabolic integration digital program gives you more details, more tools to help you. Sometimes we have to heal the gut microbiome even before the turmeric and resveratrol and these anti-inflammatory herbs can work, because it turns out that these herbs are unlocked, or it's amplified, its effect is amplified when you have proper gut microbiome. So some people with poor gut microbiome health, they take turmeric, they don't feel much difference because your body cannot activate it. Okay, the supplement needs to be activated by the gut. And of course, as complexity increases, because now we're further down in the roadmap, there's a lot more things that we have covered so far. And so sometimes for everybody, there's a roadmap, but the timing can be different for everyone. So, you need more knowledge to know how to apply this. It takes time to learn and more time to implement these things. And then you can monitor your changes and know what you did was helpful and what you did was not, so you can continue through the roadmap. And again, more of this in our neurometabolic integration digital program with group coaching. By now, I hope you got the big idea that problem within the brain-immune gut axis can lead to all of your symptoms. And by addressing the root cause, then all of your symptoms would improve. But that's only if you follow a specific roadmap, which I outline in this brain-immune gut masterclass. And if you do, I believe your body will be able to rebalance, reset, and regenerate itself. And you may be able to get your energy back again. You may get back to your old self. You may start to get back to the things you enjoy again. Perhaps getting back to the gym because now you have energy to do so. Maybe take that vacation because you've got zeal back again. Maybe you be the mom that you always wanted to be for your kids because you have energy to play with them. Maybe you be the spouse that your partner married. Maybe you just feel confident, like you finally got this, that you finally have answers. I mean, that's what life's all about. You don't have time to waste to try to figure all this out by yourself. And I believe this masterclass and this big idea that we've been talking about is exactly what you've been waiting for, that will turn the tide around for your condition. I also know that healing takes time, and you need more knowledge and support than I'm giving you in just the 7 days. And that is why I'm super excited to announce the launch of the Neurometabolic Integration Digital Program. This digital program is your ultimate roadmap to transform your health. Now, I put everything I learned through the years and experience of working with over 5,000 clients into this program so that you can use the exact roadmap that I use with my one-on-one clients that has generated life-changing results. Now, are you sick and tired of wasting time with the medical merry-go-round where you're just getting a diagnosis and a medication to treat the symptoms? I mean, we all know that system is broken, right? Are you frustrated at searching for answers on Dr. Google and getting conflicting information online? Do you want a step-by-step roadmap that makes sense and address the root cause so that your body can finally heal? Then this program is for you. Finally, an at-home program designed specifically with you in mind, with everything you need in one course. You no longer need to guess or struggle. You can start to transform your health and do it properly. Now, here is everything that you get with the Neurometabolic Integration Digital Program. You get 16 video modules, okay? These modules cover each step of the roadmap in detail, including talking about how to balance your blood sugar, how to assess your blood sugar, how to understand it, and what specific lifestyle strategy to implement, whether you have hypo or hyper blood sugar. We're gonna look at circulation. We're gonna look at digestion from north to south. We're gonna talk about inflammation and how to balance autoimmune, how to detox properly, when to introduce interventions for hormones, when not to. These are critical questions. And if you do these things out of sequence, you will not get the result that you're looking for. And this is the big idea that we've been talking about during this masterclass. And we're gonna give that to you in exact detail, step by step, so you can follow and customize and tailor this program to you. So you get 16 weekly modules that's delivered to you weekly. Now, on top of that, I also included weekly group coaching with me, myself, as well as my nutritionist. So you get 2 weekly coaching calls. And this is to help you to tailor the program to you, to answer your questions so that you can get the result you're looking for. Now, imagine, would you get better result implementing it all on your own, Or would you get better result if you have my guidance and my nutritionist guidance teaching you exactly what food to eat, what food not to eat, what supplement protocol, when is it appropriate to move on to the next step of the roadmap? Which do you think you will get better result? I bet you'll get better result doing this program. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're giving you all the tools necessary and the support to help you to be able to do this. On top of that, I also included a members only community so that you can post questions. All the weekly live group coaching calls are recorded and then put it into that members only community so you can go watch it if you missed the live recording. And you can also post questions in there so we can answer it for you. There's also members exclusive content that we put in there. So this is all to help you, to hold you by the hand as much as we can to take you through this process. Now, on top of that, you're also going to get these free guide from our expert speakers. These are guides that's going to help you to be able to implement faster and elevate your knowledge. These are very super valuable. And you're also going to get lifetime access to the Brain Immune Gut Masterclass. Folks, I threw that in there so you can own the masterclass. And not only the videos, but also the audio, so you can listen to it on your way to work or while you work out. And you also get the transcript with that. That's on top of the in-depth, deep dive that we're going to take inside the Neurometabolic Integration Digital Program. As well as, you also get 10% off on nutraceuticals that I use with our clients so that you don't have to source out the stuff. You don't have to figure out what stuff to use. We already done the work for you. Now, you're not required to purchase this supplement. I just make it available to you because we already use these with our clients. So if you just follow our protocol, you'll be able to get the result that you want and you get 10% off on those supplements. So I literally threw in everything in here that you need in order for you to get results. I am so excited about this program because through the years, there are many of you that have contacted me or emailed me that want to work with me one-on-one. And truth be told, there's only one me, and there are many of you that need my help. So therefore, I cannot possibly take everyone on as a client one-on-one. And that is why I put everything that I know that works, that gets result into this program. So you can go through step by step with my guidance to get the help that you need and finally be able to solve your health puzzle. Now, you have 3 options to access this incredible information and enroll in the program. First option is to get the Brain Immune Gut Masterclass recording. Now, if you feel this masterclass has provided value to you and you have learned even one clinical strategy that you can implement that you have not heard anywhere else, then you will benefit from owning and reviewing this masterclass again and again. You'll get lifetime access to 12 mastery sessions with the roadmap to heal the brain immune gut axis, 13 expert interviews, all the videos, the audios, and the transcript, everything included, lifetime access. Now, the regular investment for this program is $297, but you can own the entire masterclass recording for only $197 when you order before the masterclass ends. Now, for your benefit though, I recommend a better option. This option is to get access to the 6-module neurometabolic integration program. This is the first 6 modules of the full 16-module program. This acts as a jumpstart to build a foundation so you can move to higher levels of healing from here. You'll not only feel a difference with the first few modules, you'll be blown away and walk away with clinical knowledge that only the top functional medicine doctors are privy to. And you'll be able to help yourself and potentially help your loved ones to get well and stay well for the rest of your life. Now, this program includes 6 teaching modules with 35 instructional videos. That's over 10 hours of amazing content, complete with self-assessment forms and PDF handouts and notes. Best of all, it includes 6 weekly live group coaching calls with me, as well as 6 weekly live group coaching calls with a certified holistic nutritionist. These are 50-minute, 1-hour sessions, so you really get a lot of help. You also get 6 weeks access to the exclusive learners community, where you can post questions, you can watch past coaching calls on a recording, and also any bonus sessions. Also, we're going to give you the Brain Immune Gut Masterclass as a bonus when you enroll in the 6-week program and no additional cost to you. The total value for this program is $5,246. Now, we were going to list this program at $1,500. After speaking with my team, we decided to make this more accessible, more available to many of you so that you can get the tools you need to get better. So we're offering an introductory offer of only $697 for this package. Now, this is an incredible value. You'll be able to get the healing you need to take yourself to that next level. Now, the best option and my best recommendation to you is the 16 module full access to the entire neurometabolic integration program. The 16 modules for you if you have autoimmune disease or suspect you have autoimmune disease, if you have chronic brain fog, fatigue, or mood issues, if you have multiple food sensitivities and you can't figure out what to eat or what to cut out, or you have chemical and environmental sensitivities, this program is for you. If you have SIBO or Candida that you can't clear, the 16 module program is for you. If you've been to multiple doctors and have taken multiple medications and supplements, but you're still not better, and you're sick and tired of taking a bunch of pills that you're not even sure what you're taking for. This program's for you if you want to finally learn the root cause and start to reset your body. But not only that, learn how to sequence the reset so you follow a logical step-by-step game plan based on science and physiology. The 16-week program is for you if you're a learner and you want to own the information and take ownership of your health, which is your birthright. And you want someone who's a great teacher, who happens to be a great doctor as well, to teach you all the clinical pearls and be a partner in your health, who really wants you to learn this so you don't become dependent on anybody. If this describes you, you'll want to invest in the full 16 module program, because this program will take you all the way through heavy metal detox, environmental toxin detox, parasite cleanses, getting rid of chronic viral infections, dampening autoimmune reactions, and rebuilding your immune system. Essentially, this will take you through building your entire body. Where the 6 module program builds the foundation, the full 16 module program will help you build the entire house. Now, this program includes 16 modules with 87 instructional videos. That's over 36 hours of incredible content. It's complete with self-assessment forms and PDF handouts. Best of all, you get 16 weekly live group coaching calls with me and 16 weekly live group coaching calls with my nutritionist, as well as 16 weeks access to the exclusive learners community where you can ask questions, you can interact with like-minded people so that you can go on this journey with people who get you. Okay? Again, as a bonus for enrolling in the 16 module program, you will get the Brain Immune Gut Access Masterclass recordings at no additional cost to you. The total value of this package is $13,868. Now, the regular investment for this world-class program is $2,997, and it's worth way more than that. Again, we want to make this available to many more of you so that you can get this critical information. So for a limited time only, your investment for the full 16 module program is only $14.97. Now, we're getting amazing reviews and testimonials from learners going through the program right now. And you can check them out right here, right on this page. You can see all these testimonials of people who have gone through this program, real world people getting real world results. Richard says, for the first time, I'm able to understand more about my autoimmune disease and ask questions, real questions. What is the cause of this versus what supplement should I take? You see Allison, I have completed an MS, master's degree in health and wellness, and master's degree in holistic nutrition. And I'm learning so much more information than I ever touched on in my degree program that will not only benefit my health, but the health of others who I support. We have Veronica says every learning module plus the weekly Q&A with him and the nutritions make this course worth every penny. And Suzanne says, Dr. Khan's Neurometabolic Academy digital program has provided me with information I never received from other healthcare providers. So again, go through it. We have tons of more of these testimonials that you can read. So you know that you're getting something that has real value. Now, again, to reward action takers, when you enroll in the 16-week digital program before the Brain Immune Gut Masterclass ends, I will throw in the masterclass recording for free. This includes lifetime access to the videos, audios, and transcript of all the mastery sessions and expert interviews, backing out the investment for the masterclass recording and the 6-week program. This means that you invest only 40% more to get 63% more program and coaching. Now you can pay in 3 monthly installments or save an additional 15% when you do a one-time investment. That is a saving of almost $225. And you can put this on a lower interest rate credit card and pay it off over time if you want to. So that means for as little as $79 a week, you'll not only get world-class education with the digital program, you also get group coaching from certified holistic nutritionists. You also get me to help you to implement the nutrition and lifestyle strategies that we teach. And you can also ask me questions weekly to help you tailor the information to you. Where else can you get 2 appointments with a nutritionist and a functional medicine doctor for only $79? Folks, we threw in so much value in here that I don't know what else to include to make this more amazing, except I'm going to include a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you have 14 days to access all the modules, jump on the group coaching call, check out all the material. And if you don't feel this is one of the best investments you made for your health, go ahead and request a refund. I'd be more than happy to give you your money back. Now, all I ask is that you access the module, log in and watch the module, jump on the coaching calls or watch the recording of the coaching call and participate, because I just care that you get results. And the only way you get a result is by participating and implementing. So go ahead and check it out and see if it's right for you. And I know you'll be blessed by it. I'll see you on the other side.